The academy courtyard reeked of smoke and scorn as Elias's life's work turned to ash.
They burn the truth while the Empire sharpens its knives. None of them know what's coming.
In the damp cell, blood still wet from the brand, Elias traced a sigil on the stone floor.
A regression circle. Forbidden, but it's the only path left.
He poured his lifespan into the carving, bones cracking as the spell ignited.
If I can reach the past, before the annihilation spell is cast.
Light consumed him, and when it faded, he gasped awake in a forest thick with ancient magic.
The air tastes different, wild with mana. I'm here. The purge hasn't happened yet.
He stumbled to his feet, his body lighter but visibly aged, and began to walk where no path should exist. The Empire's banners still flew, but the purge was only beginning, and Elias intended to stop it. Days bled together as Elias pressed through the whispering forest, guided by forgotten maps.
The Empire's patrols are thicker here. One wrong word, and I'll join the pyre before I can save anyone.
He slipped into the village cloaked in a peddler's rags, eyes fixed on a faded wanted poster. At the base of a dead oak, a shimmering veil pulsed with old runes, the Enclave's hidden gate.
This is it. Once I step through, there's no retreat.
Stop where you stand, Imperial Dog. One more step, and my blade opens your throat.
I'm here to stop a massacre, the one your children will not survive. Lower your steel, or watch the future burn.
He spoke a name, Mira, and the cavern fell silent, a child's name that should have been known only to the Coven. The High Seer's staff clattered to the stone. Her blindfolded eyes seemed to pierce him from across the chamber.
I have seen you in the dream. That is not a dream. You carry a library's grief, and a thread that might unweave fate.
Within the hour, the Coven Council assembled in a cavern lit by trembling crystals. Elias stood at the center, a stranger on trial.
The Empire isn't just hunting you. They're crafting an annihilation spell that will erase magic from the world. I've seen the ash it leaves.
You expect us to believe a scholar reeking of the Academy? You could be the Inquisitor's lure, meant to draw us into the open.
Silence, Lyra. The dream does not lie. I have seen the child, Mira, the sky burning, and this man weeping over dead magi. He speaks the truth.
At the seer's command, a small figure was led into the chamber. Mira, a girl of 8 clutching a wooden toy. Her curious eyes roamed over the strangers.
She's just a child now, but the future I know. She becomes the hinge. I won't let her break.
The council argued in hushed tones, but the seer's word was law. They agreed to train for war, but on one condition: Elias would be supervised by Lyra.
Understand this, scholar. I'll be your shadow. If your loyalty falters, I'll be the one to sever your thread from the loom.
If I fail, your blade will be the least of my regrets. The real enemy is already marching, and my body is burning away to buy you time.
Training began at dawn, but doubt clung to the Coven like damp. Elias had bought himself a stay, not a victory. Elias pushed the witches past endurance, each drill carved like a scar, lessons borrowed from a war not yet fought.
Stop coddling your wards. The Empire won't wait for your courage to bloom.
You speak as if you've already watched us die. What future did you crawl out of?
One where Mira weeps over your broken body. I will not let that future breathe.
His legs buckled without warning. A cough spattered the dirt with crimson. Lyra caught his arm before he fell.
This isn't fatigue. You are bleeding from the inside. What curse are you carrying? Spill it.
The regression circle, it burns my lifespan. I am trading my tomorrows for your todays.
You fool. No one asked you to die for us. But I won't waste your sacrifice. Teach me the spell that will break their siege. I'll be the blade you sharpen, not the burden you carry.
The hostility in her eyes cooled into pledged steel, but Elias felt the cold hand of the clock moving, ever closer to midnight. Inquisitor Voss studied the arcane map, its ley lines trembling with a disturbance he had not felt in decades.
A ripple in time. Someone has breached the continuum. The Coven's magic is too primitive for this. Who dares?
He summoned a prisoner from the cells, a witch taken during a border patrol. her spirit unbroken.
Tell me of the stranger who walks the old paths. Your silence will only deepen your agony.
She gritted her teeth, but Voss's gauntlet already crackled with invasive spellwork. Agony twisted her face as the truth was ripped from her mind. A scholar, a burned heretic, speaking the name of a child from the Coven.
A time trespasser. He must have fled to the Enclave, the one we've hunted for decades but never found. Now we have a thread.
Within the hour, orders echoed through the fortress. Soldiers sharpened blades and readied anti-magic shackles.
March at dawn. Follow the trace of temporal residue. Burn any village that whispers the old tongue. Know which leaves the forest alive.
The Empire's war machine rumbled to life, its iron shadow falling over the hidden Enclave, still unaware of the storm approaching. Within the Enclave, Elias gathered Lyra away from the others, his voice low and urgent.
The child Mira, in the future I fled. She betrayed the Coven, not by choice, but by exploitation. I think I can prevent it.
Then we protect her. Teach her to guard her heart as well as her magic. She won't be a tool for anyone, ever again.
So they began to train Mira, not just in spells, but in trust. Elias kindling, the fire of curiosity she had lost in the future.
Will I really be able to make the lights dance like you, Teacher Elias? All by myself?
She is so bright. In another life, this light was extinguished. Not this time. I won't allow it.
That night, exhaustion pulled Elias into a dreamless void that slowly twisted into something darker. A silhouette of shifting purple smoke coalesced before him, a voice like grinding stone.
You cannot mend what is already woven. Your thread only tightens the knot. The child will still break by your own hand.
Elias jolted awake, the shadow's whisper still clinging to his thoughts. The child was safe, for now, but doubt had been planted, and it would grow. Still shaking off the nightmare's grip, Elias led Lyra into the mist-choked forest. The Empire's scouts could be anywhere.
You've been jumpy since dawn. What did you see that shook you so badly?
A warning I can't ignore. Keep low. I sense movement ahead through the trees.
Through the underbrush, an Imperial patrol tramped, their anti-magic lanterns flickering like hungry eyes.
12 men, 2 mage hunters. If one escapes, our enclave is compromised.
We can't let that happen. Follow my lead, and whatever happens, trust me.
Elias's hands blurred, a silencing ward snapping shut around the patrol as Lyra lunged into the flashing steel. In his tower, Voss's time ripple map flared red. He felt the death of his men and the unmistakable trace of a regression spell.
The temporal signature is clear. A regression caster. The heretic from the future is within my reach.
Elias clenched his fist, blood dripping. The clock was no longer ticking. It was hammering against the walls of fate. Back at the Enclave, the High Seer summoned Elias to her shadowed chamber without delay.
The shadow that torments your dreams, I have seen it. It wears your face, Elias, warped by countless failures.
I felt its pull, but what is it? A phantom cast by the regression or something I unknowingly created?
It is a version of you, trapped in the time stream, a future where you could not save us. It has become the loop.
Then the shadow is my own future self. Can anyone outrun a doom that has already happened 1,000 times?
Your return may not rewrite the massacre. It may only ensure you die alongside us, loop after loop.
That is not a fate. It is a challenge. Every loop must have a break point. I will find it.
If you draw too heavily on time magic, the shadow will claim you. You will become the very loop you despise.
Then I will wield time with a surgeon's precision. But I will not stop fighting. The Coven will have a future.
Elias left the chamber. The shadows echo a cold nail in his skull, a reason to be more ruthless than fate. The next day, Elias scoured the supply stores under a pretense and found a scrap of parchment folded inside a grain sack.
Imperial cipher. Someone inside the Enclave is feeding them our numbers, our guard rotations. A traitor.
He pocketed the message before anyone noticed. If the Coven learned they were betrayed from within, panic would unravel them before the Empire struck.
I can't trust anyone with this, but I will find the leak. quietly, before another message slips out.
Over the following days, Elias became a ghost, watching the witch's routines, noting who hovered near the exit, who asked too many questions.
You look like you are hunting shadows, Elias. What's turned you into a wraith?
Nothing you need to worry about. Just preparing for the worst. Trust me a little longer. She's the one person I want to confide in. But the shadow warned that my trust could twist the thread. I can't risk it.
The shadow's voice brushed his mind, a distant, cold reminder that suspicion itself could sharpen the knife meant for his back. Lyra stared after him, her hand brushing the dagger at her hip, not in threat, but in resignation that the man she'd come to trust was slipping into isolation. Without warning, the outer wards shrieked. An Imperial strike force was tearing at the veil.
To the barriers. Every witch to their post now.
They're probing. Give them fire to turn them back, but don't waste energy.
Magic clashed in the night as witch fire met Imperial steel. The wards held, but at a cost. Amid the chaos, a younger witch was overrun and dragged into the darkness before anyone could reach her. In the Inquisitor's tent, Voss smiled as the prisoner was brought before him.
You will tell me everything. I smell deception within your coven. Who whispers to the Empire?
Under the bite of his magic, the witch's mind shattered. The words escaped her lips. A traitor exists, but not a name. Elias counted the survivors, one missing. The Empire now knew of the snake in their nest. The victory felt hollow. The Coven had won a skirmish, but the war now ticked toward betrayal. Late that night, Elias caught her. Lyra, slipping a second coded message beneath a loose stone near the perimeter.
Don't move. I know the cipher. I know you've been feeding Voss our movements. How long, Lyra?
It wasn't supposed to go this far. He has my sister. You don't understand. I had no choice.
A sister. I told you Mira was the one who would betray us. You let me believe a child was the monster.
I wanted to tell you. Every day, I wanted to. But if I stopped, he'd kill her. Please, Elias, you've sacrificed everything. You must understand.
I trusted her. She was the blade I sharpened. And now that blade is in my back. You will tell no one. You will continue to send messages, but they will be mine, not yours. You will be my tool now.
I'll do anything. Just save her. Save my sister. I'll be your spy until the end.
Elias pulled her up. Not forgiveness, strategy. The pain of betrayal was a poison he'd have to swallow daily. The shadow whispered that trust was never his to give. And now, he wielded Lyra like a scalpel. Sharp, but ready to cut both ways. That night, the shadow no longer waited for sleep. It bled into the waking world, a cold tide of purple smoke.
You feel it now, the weight of 1,000 failures. I am not your enemy, Elias. I am your future.
You are the loop, the echo of every time I failed. Every version of me that couldn't save them.
We have died 100 times in this grove, but merge with me, become whole, and you will have the power to shatter the cycle.
And what remains of me? You would wear my skin while I become just another whisper in the dark.
You would be the architect of the only future where the Coven survives. The cost is your name, not your purpose.
If I accept, I become the very thing I ran from. A loop with no end. Just a purpose that devours all else. I won't become you. Not yet. I will find another way to break the cycle without losing myself.
Then you will fail again. But I will be waiting, because I am the only constant in this river of time.
Elias collapsed against the cave wall, the shadows offer like frost in his veins. He had refused, but the temptation would return. Before dawn, Elias stumbled into the seer's chamber and laid Lyra's betrayal at her feet. He expected fury. He found weary recognition.
I saw the knife before it was forged, but a seer cannot walk the warrior's path for him. You had to choose.
Then help me turn this poison into a cure. I intend to feed Voss lies, a trap he will walk into willingly.
The seer traced a thread of light in the air, a vision of Voss's arrogance, his certainty that the traitor was his puppet, not theirs.
Lyra's false message must promise a route to the Enclave. He will come, and his overconfidence will be the noose.
And if he suspects, if Lyra's message is intercepted or decoded before the trap springs,
Then we will have no regrets, only ashes and a story that ended in defiance. But I have seen his face in the weave. He will believe.
Elias summoned Lyra and explained the plan. She would send a message that the Coven was weakened, the Eastern Pass unguarded, the perfect target for Voss's pride.
I will do it. But when this is over, I need to know my sister is safe. That is all I ask.
Elias met her gaze and gave a single nod. Not forgiveness, but promise. The trap was set, and Voss was already walking toward it, one arrogant step at a time. The Enclave turned into a fortress of wards and shadows. Every witch knew the final trial was marching toward them.
hold the Eastern Pass lightly. Let them think it's our weakness. When they commit, we collapse the ridge on them.
If only they knew the trap was bought with my betrayal. Every word I speak now is a blade twisting in my own chest.
She found Mira practicing a tiny light spell, innocent and unaware. Lyra knelt and gently adjusted the girl's hands.
Lyra, will you protect me when the bad men come? Teacher Elias says I have to be brave, but I am scared.
I will protect you with everything I have. No one will hurt you while I breathe.
Far from the Enclave, Inquisitor Voss received the forged message. His lips curled into a razor-thin smile.
The Coven's Eastern Pass lies undefended. Their time traveler has grown careless. We will not waste the opportunity. Prepare the annihilation spell. We will not simply destroy them. We will erase their magic from history itself.
As dusk fell over the Enclave, Lyra clutched her daggers, the weight of her secret threatening to break her. The stage was set for a betrayal and a redemption yet unwritten. Elias sought Lyra out where the ancient oaks shielded the Enclave from the rising moon.
I won't pretend the wound doesn't bleed, but I understand why you did it. Love is a cruel leverage.
I don't deserve your understanding. I only want it to end. This war, this guilt.
When the battle is done, we will find your sister. I swear on what remains of my life.
The annihilation spell isn't invulnerable. Voss must maintain focus. If you disrupt him at the critical moment, it collapses.
Then I'll need to be close. That means facing him directly. The shadow will try to claim me.
Use the shadow, but don't become it. Promise me you'll come back.
I will return, and I will hold you to your own promise, to protect Mira.
For a heartbeat, Lyra's hand covered his. The wall between them cracked but stayed standing. She seemed lighter, as if confession had unburdened her, though the horizon already thrummed with Empire drums. The Imperial host crashed into the Eastern Pass. The Coven's trap sprang, but Voss did not take the bait. He had arrived first.
Did you think I wouldn't know my own informant? I used her to lead you here.
Voss dragged a girl forward, Lyra's sister, eyes wide, a blade already kissed to her throat.
Behold the price of your failure.
Before a scream could leave Lyra's lips, the blade bit deep. Her sister crumpled to the dirt.
No.
Lyra lunged, daggers gleaming, but Voss's backhanded magic shattered her charge. She hit the ground, blood pooling.
Now, take my hand, or watch them all die again.
Forgive me, Lyra. I will not let your sacrifice be empty.
Elias stopped fighting the dark tide. Purple fire swallowed his silhouette, and when his eyes reopened, they glowed with borrowed time. The shadow's power surged through Elias like a second heartbeat. He stepped toward the Inquisitor, no longer a scholar but a storm.
Voss, your end is not judgment, it is extinction. I have seen 100 timelines where you win. This will not be one.
A time-drunk fool wielding a phantom. You are already dead. You just refuse to accept it.
The Coven's witches, led by the High Seers chanting, unleashed a counter-barrage that pinned the remaining Imperials. Elias raised a hand, wreathed in purple flame, and tore at the temporal threads around Voss's concentration. Voss screamed as his own spell unraveled against him. Flesh turned to crystal, then dust. The Inquisitor was no more, but the annihilation spell, already half-formed, tore free of its master and roared into the sky, a black sun come to swallow the world.
Elias, the spell has become a wild chain. It will consume us and the Empire both.
The witch's wards flickered as the black orb descended, draining the light from the valley.
I bought minutes, not a future, but minutes may be enough.
The Coven's combined might could only slow the black sun's descent. Their wards buckled, and the valley groaned under the weight of null magic.
Elias, you have become the loop's shadow. If you give yourself fully, you could anchor the spell in non-time, but you will lose your thread forever.
Then let the thread unravel. Mira's future is worth 1,000 of my names.
He stopped resisting. The shadow flooded every fiber, and Elias the scholar, the heretic, became a figure of writhing darkness. Time bent around him like a serpent swallowing its tail. The annihilation spell screamed as reality folded. The Coven stood frozen, witnessing the impossible, a man turning himself into a seal of paradox.
Teacher, don't go. You promised to teach me more lights.
I will watch over you, Mira. In every timeline, I will be the shadow that guards your light.
The orb began to crack, its black surface splintering into fractured shards of what could have been. But the seal was not complete. The shadow's hunger had not yet swallowed the whole spell. Elias teetered on the edge of existence. The High Seer moved forward, her staff glowing with the last of her years. She placed a withered hand upon the seething darkness.
Elias, my thread was already frayed. Let it unravel so yours can mend. This is the final vision.
She poured her essence into the severing. The shadow screamed as golden light carved it away from Elias's soul.
You sacrifice nothing but a few breaths. Without me, he will die a mortal fool. The loop will claim him again.
The shadow dissolved with a final wail. Elias crashed to his knees, flesh and bone again, his hair now silver white.
I feel the weight of every stolen year, a lifetime spent in minutes. But the Coven still breathes.
Above, the black sun fractured fully, raining not fire but soft motes of light that spiraled upward like a farewell. The High Seer crumbled against her staff, a faint smile on her lips. Her sightless eyes stared into a dawn she would never see.
The Coven lives. Mira is free. I go to join the threads. I could not save.
She was gone. Elias held her briefly, feeling the silence of a prophecy fulfilled. The valley belonged to the living now. Elias limped to where Lyra lay. Her hand still clasped a dagger, but her eyes sought him through the pain.
You came back. I knew you would. Tell me my sister is with the stars.
She is, and you kept your promise. Mira is safe because of you.
Then, I have nothing left to fear. Forgive me for the silence.
She stilled. Elias pressed her hand to his forehead, then closed her eyes with trembling fingers. The Coven dug 2 graves beneath the oldest oak. The Seer and Lyra were laid to rest together, guardians of a new dawn. Mira stood at the fresh earth, not crying. She whispered a light spell that danced like the one Lyra had once guided.
I will learn every spell you know. I will make sure no one has to sacrifice like this again.
Then let us begin, Mira. There is much to teach, and even more to protect.
His body was fragile, but his eyes still held the fire of a scholar who had burned time itself to save a single flame. Years turned like the pages of a weathered tome. The Coven grew deep roots in the hidden grove. Untouched by the Empire's decay, Mira, a woman now, led the younger witches in their first spells. Her laughter was a familiar melody in the birch grove. Elias sat on a mossy stone bench, a blanket over his knees, watching the children chase motes of light.
This is enough. No more rituals of war, just the quiet hum of learning.
Teacher, Elias, the little ones want to know. Will you tell the story of the Black Sun again?
Not today, Mira. Some threads are for mending, not for unraveling again. Let them dream of lights, not shadows.
In the corner of his eye, a familiar purple glimmer coiled like a serpent in the underbrush. The shadow had not vanished.
It lingers. The loop still breathes beneath the skin of time, but it will not claim this generation. I have bought them a future.
He watched a child catch a light orb in her palm, giggling. The sun sank low, painting the sky in amber and rose. The purple wisp dissolved into the dusk, but its echo remained, a whisper that time never truly forgets. In his simple room, Elias found a scrap of parchment, the regression circle he had drawn a lifetime ago, now faded and brittle.
The circle that started it all. A scar on time, but I no longer need its promise.
He traced the sigil one last time, then, with a quiet smile, tore the paper in two. In the corner, the purple shadow writhed, a faint hiss, then stillness. The loop had been refused.
You reject the infinite? Then I fade. But time is a river, Elias. You have only dammed one bend.
Then let the river flow. I have walked far enough against the current.
The last violet spark vanished. Elias drew a breath of forest air and stepped outside into the golden hour. Children's laughter mingled with the rustle of leaves. The Coven was no longer a refuge. It was a home. He did not look back at the torn circle. He walked forward into the light, carrying only the weight of a promise kept. The scholar who burned time to save a single flame had finally let himself be mortal, and that was enough.